Hello everyone, welcome back. I've brought in my jade forest or penjing because this is in my porch. I keep this in my porch, and Christmas is around the corner, so we normally decorate the porch for Christmas, which means this will be taken out of the porch and I'll be putting it in my shed under the grow lights and that, so it'll probably grow quite well in there. And if I don't prune it back now, in January, by the time I get round to putting it back in the porch, it'll really need pruning. It'll get way too big, and then I'll be putting it back in the porch then with leaves on it kind of thing. So if I prune it now, then by January when I do get it to put back in the porch, it should have grown back in a bit and it won't need a pruning at that stage, so it'll look a bit better rather than leaving it for another month and then pruning it and then putting it like that in the porch all chopped up. So we're going to prune it now and then put it in the shed, so it'll be under the grow lights and it'll have the heat and that from that in there, so it should grow quite well. It's quite dry at the moment, but it's okay. We'll give it a little, well, if I'm pruning it all off, I probably won't water it now. I'll leave it until it kind of seals. So what I'm going to do is basically defoliate it more than pruning it, and then we'll have a look at the structures of the trees and make our decisions then on what we're going to do. As like that, if I was to leave this now, which I could do for another little while, but if I was to leave it, then I would definitely probably need to prune it before it goes back in the porch, and then, like I said, it would just all be just chopped up and wouldn't be looking its best. So we'll think a month in advance, think ahead, and we'll do the work on it now. There's a couple of jade forests now that I'm going to have to look at before I bring them in. We'll put them into the shed because like that, you have to kind of think ahead. So I'm just going to go around and defoliate it all best I can. Because some of the branches we might not need to cut off and just leave them grow back in again. Got some bad weather again. It's kind of blustery and raining again all day. So trees getting well watered, but so is everything else getting soaked. And the reason why I'm not just chopping it is because I just want to see if there's parts of it I want to leave grow on. It has been reduced back a couple of times already, and rather than just chopping everything off and chopping it right back, I might want to leave some branches grow. Like here for instance, well, I could maybe chop one of these back, alright, save doing it. But which one? kind of like the way this one is dividing up. I'll just take out some of the bottom leaves. I don't know what they actually call these, whether they're called leaves or what. It's going to take a while, I think, to defoliate the whole thing. So I think what I'll do is I will stop the video now, and then we'll defoliate it, and then I'll come back and have a look. Can't even see the oryx in there now. At the stage is getting. When I made this planting first, the biggest tree wasn't as tall as him. It was only like that size, and it's just grown quite well. Funnily, if I didn't have him in it, I wouldn't kind of notice them growing. Only I remember him sticking out over the top of them, and I thought it just looked like he was walking around in amongst bushes, not trees. But now I know, and I remembered them being that small because of him. So now I know that they're definitely getting quite big. Okay, so I'll just pause the video, we'll give it all a defoliating, and then we'll come back. Okay, we're about halfway there now. These little guys, like this one back here, I'm not going to do that one. I'm going to leave it grow, let it thicken up. This one in here, I'm just taking off a few of the older leaves underneath. But the same with that one, I'll let it grow. This one I took a bit off because I want this one to kind of stay small, and this one. Okay, so I've just these two big guys to go. So we'll keep going, and we'll come back again in a minute. I'm just looking at this tree here, as I'm pruning it, and you can see, say on this leaf here, cut that off. You'll see some little white spots on it. You can see that. I'm not sure if you can see it, but maybe you can. But there's tiny white spots on it. It's not a disease or bugs or anything. What that is just, you can actually just rub it off if you need to, if you wanted to. It's just the if you feed your water your trees with tap water, it's just like the salts and minerals coming out of the from the water. They push them out through the ends, normally around the tips. So it's nothing to worry about. But I try to use rainwater as much as I can, but with these being indoors, they mostly get just tap water. A lot of the time I water them with the water from my fish tank. I just scoop out a jug full out of my tank, and I water them with that, so that they can get some of the minerals and stuff that will be in the water from the fish, to help feed them. But yeah, my other jade forest, the one that the jade I got for €10 from a garden centre, and I made a forest out of it. That one is quite badly covered in the white spots, which is kind of funny because that one is in my shed at the moment, and I do use rainwater for that, but it also could be something that's getting out of the soil. There's lots of bits of rocks and stuff and I use in the landscapes and things, or the sand and stuff, and maybe there was some salts and minerals or something that leaking from them that the tree is taking up, but it's not harming the tree. It just, you look at it, you might think it's got some sort of a pest or fungus or something, but it's not. It's quite safe. You don't realise how many leaves. Keep calling them leaves, I'm not sure what they're called, but we'll call them leaves. You don't realise how many are on these until you start pruning them off. And then you realise, you start thinking to yourself, why don't I just chop off the whole branch and do it that way? But at least this way you can see which direction the branches are growing in. And I'm just leaving kind of stubs. You can see when I'm cutting them, I'm not going right into the branch. They'll just dry out. Like that. I might be chopping them all off yet anyway, but I just want to see the structure of the branches because they've not grown a lot of branching at the moment. They're just kind of all shooting out from the last cut sites. So I'm going to possibly be chopping some back, alright. Okay, we'll keep going and we'll come back when they're all done. Now rather than cutting them, you can just kind of pull them back like this, which is okay on these stronger trees. If you kind of pull them back against themselves, they just snap off at the base. But on some parts of them, when I was doing that, it was breaking the actual whole piece off, so I was just being careful with them. But they do most of the time just break off nicely like that. I probably should have done more like that rather than just cutting them. I'm going to take that one off altogether because it's growing in towards that one, so I won't be using it anyway. So you can just pop them off like that. You just got to be careful and try and make sure you're holding one at least so that it doesn't just rip off the whole branch. If you can hold some and pull them then at least it won't break the branch. When you get to the last one, you gotta be careful. So we just cut that one off. Try to get through this last one now as quick as I can. Just the last top one. A big pile of leaves here and all over the floor. And so like I said, you just hold it and just carefully snap it back against itself. Just make sure you're hold it like that so that you can't break the whole branch off if you pull it without holding it. Does do a kind of a cleaner job. Probably should have done that more, but they dry out anyway and be no problem. It was just one or two when I was doing it at the start. Like these ones, they're so attached that it would just break the branch if I pull on them. Okay, just last they're going to break the whole thing. So I'll just snip them off like that. Okay, let's just gather all the ones. Sand and that on this is a little bit high. When I water it, it tends to wash a bit of the sand off. It's very dry at the moment. Okay, just get the tweezers now. I'll just show you the amount of, so you can see there the amount we took off. It's a fair amount. Okay, we'll just go around with the tweezers, pick out the rest. Okay, so we have it all cleared now. Like I said, it's a little bit choppy looking, but this is why I'm doing it now, because it looks like green beans, you could eat them. The reason why I'm doing it now is because if I was to wait until January, this is what I'd be looking at in my porch. It'd be all chopped back. And it would have needed doing by the time I was putting it back out. So I'd rather do it now, and then it should be filled in nicely, or at least start to fill in nicely by the time comes to put it back out. So now what I'm going to do is just have a look at anything that might need cutting back. So starting with this one here, we do have this trunk back here in the middle. It's kind of behind the main one, which is a bit heavy. It does have a side shoot here, so I'm thinking I'm going to take that one back to here, so it can send out the side shoot from this side, filling in here. This one is kind of a bit long with nothing happening, so maybe we'll take this one back, try and get it to fill out a bit lower. Go to here, cut it between the lines, it'll die back to the left line. The rest of that one seems okay for now. We'll let it grow. That's okay. We could maybe take this one back a bit. Up here, and we'll just let it grow, and then we'll see. It's not a lot really going on up there yet, so we'll just leave that. Little guy will leave, let this branch grow up. It's kind of leaning back. I think that's just the way it was when I put it in. This fella over this side. Hard to say, do I want this one a bit lower at the back? It's kind of competing with the apex up here. Probably would be better to have it back here. So we'll take that one off. Okay, now we're looking at the main tree. Wait, move my chair this way so I'm kind of looking at least in a similar direction to the camera. The main tree back there. This branch here is kind of very straight and long. It's kind of catching up on the apex, so I'm going to take this one back. Leave that one back to there. I will leave the apex on this high. I want this one quite high at the back. I have this branch coming in towards it, but now it's got a branch coming out this way. Maybe take out that one, that side. This branch back here, it's kind of got a nice little bit of movement in it. I'm quite happy with that. Just take that top off. And then the back branch, maybe take out this one, so it's growing that way. Again, is it? Should I take it back a bit? I think I will. I think I'll take this one back a bit as well, so it can be below this one, roughly, and a little bit lower than this one. We'll grow this one over here, so that one will be okay. The little guys will just let grow, that one and that one and that one, and this one over here then, this other big tree. I'll take out this one so it's not growing in towards the main trunk. Kind of like this one to get quite big, so I'm going to leave it. I think that one is pretty much okay as well for now. You can maybe take these back a little bit and leave that one because I want that one to grow back a bit. Other than that, it seems okay. So that looks to be about it. So like I said, I wouldn't want to be putting that in my porch in this state. I'd rather it have some leaves on it. We can put our oryx back in. So it'll go in the shed now under the grow lights and let it grow over the Christmas period. I think this is more or less the front, about there. These guys, I'll probably put them in as cuttings just for the sake of it. You never know, one day I might want them, or one of the lads in the club might want some cuttings or something. So I'll plant them up. Let's see if I've got a little pot for them. Okay, so we've got a pot, got a bit of drainage screen here, just a little green pot. So just put a bit of soil into that. I'll just move this out the way. That one's kind of done now. So I've put some ordinary bonsai soil in the bottom, and then I'll just place these in. Let's see what I'm going to do. I'm going to get some of this fine stuff and we'll put that on the top. This is just sieved, and that will just help hold them in place, because the other stuff is quite coarse. We'll leave it dry. I won't water them until you want this to kind of seal over. So we'll just stick them in there. No particular order, just put them in, space them out like that. Like that maybe. We can add them to a forest store. Like I said, somebody might want them one day, so we'll just put them in. And when I see them starting to grow, then we'll give them a light spraying and we'll get them going. Okay, so that's it for this video. Just have one last look at this. So yeah, like I said, it's sand is a bit full on it. Every time I water it in the house, all this just falls out and got to sweep the floor. So I should have maybe made it a little bit lower than the lip. So anyway, so that's it for this video. Again, thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe, all that stuff, and we will see you on the next one.